Hello, everyone, and welcome to Career Chats. My name is Joan Dixon, and I'm the Director of Student Programs for Gulf Coast South Area Health Education Center. As you can see on the screen here, we have several student programs that we offer in our four-county service area. That's Charlotte, DeSoto, Sarasota, and Manatee counties in the state of Florida. It can be health career presentations to the career chat like you're going to see tonight, to summer health career camps, HOSA health professionals. I act as a technical advisor to help prepare them for their events at the regional, state, and international competitions. We also have a REACH intern program for high school students and college level students to become more immersed in public health. And then our crowning glory is the AHEC Scholars Program for graduate students, which fully immerses them for 2 years in public health programming. So we have many different student programs, all free of charge to students, and we're glad that you've joined us for this Career Chat video, because as you might be aware, there's approximately 300 health careers to choose from. And it's a good idea if you do a little research first before you get to college, before you spend time in college and money in college, figure out what you want to do for your future health career. So on this website, we have all different career videos you can watch and see if they interest you. I'm very excited about tonight's guest speaker that we have. So without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to our interviewer, Crystal Tran, who's going to introduce herself, and then she'll introduce the guest speaker to you.
Hi guys, so I'm Crystal Tran. I'm currently a REACH intern at GSA-HEC. I'm currently also a junior at Pineview School, and I'm going to be leading today's interview. So today we have here Dr. Fan, a licensed optometrist who currently owns and operates her own office in Buena Park, California. First, let's learn about what optometrists do.
Optometrists help people see better. They examine eyes to diagnose vision problems and eye diseases and prescribe eyeglasses and contact lenses. Optometrists are not physicians, but they do have extensive training. All states and the District of Columbia license optometrists, who are required to have a Doctor of Optometry degree from an accredited optometry school, generally a 4-year program after at least 3 years of undergraduate work. Most optometry students hold another bachelor's degree or higher. Then the optometrist must pass a written and clinical state board examination. Optometrists can work in outpatient clinics, retail optical stores, or have their own practice. They use instruments and observation to determine eye health and test visual acuity, depth and color perception, and the ability to focus and coordinate the eyes. They analyze these test results and develop a treatment plan. That plan can then be given to a dispensing optician to fit and adjust eyeglasses or contact lenses. Or the optometrist might refer the patient to an ophthalmologist, a medical doctor who can perform surgery. With ongoing developments in eye care, optometrist licenses must be renewed every 1 to 3 years, and continuing education credits are required. Though some optometrists do research, the majority work with patients, so communication skills and a pleasant manner are also part of the prescription for a healthy career.
So in essence, optometrists are doctors of the eye. Typically, when you think of an optometrist, you think about the big E chart on the wall and people who check your vision and give you glasses if you need them. However, optometrists do so much more. In addition to conducting vision tests, they examine and diagnose all things that have to do with the eye. This looks like dealing with diseases and other things about the eye. Like many other types of doctors, optometrists do a lot of hands-on work with patients and need to be great communicators. And today we're going to learn more about optometry. And that leads me right into the interview questions. So Dr. Fan, what is your job description?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm saying hi to everybody. Um, as you already see the video, our job is to check the patient eyes. And basically, every day I examine patient eyes. I see a lot of different kind of the stuff. One of them is you have to see what they need corrections for their visions. They're able to see good or not. And the second one, I check for the health of the eyes. Health of the eyes can be from the diabetes conditions, from high blood pressure conditions, from the heart vascular disease conditions. There's a lot of difference. So I see if anything of that conditions affecting the visions, then I should be concerned about for the patients.
So typically when you see those signs affecting the eye, like you see signs of diabetes and heart disease, what do you do with a patient? Do you refer them to another specialist?
Yes, I talk to them, mention to them what they have. Basically, it's a patient education. So good communication to the patients, that's the key. So to us, I mean, they just see us as eye doctors to check their vision for the glasses, but they don't see us as a medical doctor to check their health conditions. So you have to good communication to them, what you find on the exam and what you recommend them need to do. So most likely I refer them, I write the notes to the family doctors and see what they have and what I found, and then they need to do further tests in order to diagnose what they have.
That makes sense. Where do you work and what is the atmosphere like?
When I first graduate, I worked a lot of different places. I mean, here one day, there one day. I mean, finally, I have my own practice. And I mean, when you have your own practice, there's a lot of different responsibilities. I mean, but you be your own boss, so you have your. I mean, you can set up your work schedule differently. Excuse me. One day, if you're busy, you can block off the schedule the whole day for yourself. Like today, or there's a day that you're so busy behind, so you have to catch up on what you worked. And overall, because it's my own practice, so I have to go with the flow. I mean, you want your own time. You want to run the business good. So I mean, overall, I like it. I mean, it's your own practice, so there's no complaints.
Yeah, I was wondering, since you own your own practice, how do you recruit a lot of your patients and get your name out there?
Okay, first of all, I mean, before you take over the office, you have to know a lot about basically, it's the insurance company. So you have to credentialing with them. So they put your name on their panel list. So the patient who have the insurance, they go through that list and see who's locally optometrist. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is like you patient referral. So it's very important that you have good relationship with your patients because they are the ones refer their families, friends, their kids come to our office. So we build up from one by one. And second, the third reason is like because my office is like very storefront display. So you have to make attraction windows or whatever you think is the patients pay attention to your store. They will come in and ask you questions and then let's go from there.
Thank you. So I know you work by yourself, but what fellow health professionals do you also work with in your career?
The most health professions I work with is ophthalmologists because for us, we can diagnose the disease of the eyes, but some of the disease, we they need like surgeries, like cataracts. They need cataract surgery, or they need the retinal detachment. They need to go see ophthalmologist to do surgery. Then I need to contact the ophthalmologist and work with them and there's a lot of the things that you related to ophthalmologists. And also beside ophthalmologists, I had to work with the like family doctor, primary care doctors. So just like I mentioned before, like if the patient, I see some sign from diabetes, high blood pressure, then I have to communicate with their family doctors to see what's the best treatment for the patients.
So do you have a lot of like established relationships with ophthalmologists and family doctors, and those just like go over time?
Yes, of course. I mean, they usually I also chose the office like close to my office. So because usually the patients come to my office is locally. So you need to know who's the ophthalmologist locally, who's the family doctors locally, so you can talk to them, communicate. Because if it's too far away, the patients like whatever, they don't want to go. So if it's like round the street, then they willing to go there right away or make appointments to go right away. So over time, because I have my office like about 9 years, 10 years already, so I kind of know the areas. So I mean, they over there like family doctors. Sometimes they check the like the patient eyesight over there too. So if they saw like the patients can see well or something, they refer to us. And then for us, if we saw something, we refer to them. So there's a good relationship between us.
Also, Dr. Fan, so what kind of patients do you work with in your career?
You mean what kind of patients I have?
Mm-hmm.
All kinds, from 2 years old to 100 years old, and mentally disability, happy patients, grumpy patients, all kind of patients. I mean, you have to. It's diversity. So I can tell you like one day I see all happy patients, I'm happy. So one day I see all grumpy patients, I'll be grumpy. It depends. So every day I see different kinds of patients.
And what is a typical day like for you?
Go to work, do you mean? Just go in, examine patient eye, and that's all. Basically, you just like because like sometimes it has to deal with the insurance. So insurance is another thing. So I mean, sometimes you examine patient eye and then we bill them, they not pay us. So we have to call them and bugging them, things like that. And then for the glasses, sometimes the patient's not happy with the glasses. We have to deal with them and recheck again. I mean, there's typically, I mean, after 8 hours I'm working, I'm going home and relax.
Mm. And because you own your own business, do you have to take care of the business side of things as well?
Yes, as a businesswoman too. Because being doctor is one thing, but you have to make a living in other things. Because your business is a business, I mean, you have to make money from the business. Otherwise, there's no business. So, I mean, it's from A to Z. It's a lot of work when you have your own office, but it's rewarding. It's your own office. So you be your own boss. So it's more your own times too. So I mean, it's just two separate things. Doctors one thing, business another thing. But you have to have the mentalities on both in order to be successful in the business.
Also, Dr. Fan, so you started off working for other people and now you own your own business, but what type of starting salary can a person expect in this career?
Okay, we're talking about when I first graduated, which is like in 2003. So it's like 20 years already. So back then, it's a different story. So nowadays, when you graduate, you can start a lot higher. So when I was graduate 20 years ago, I mean, I work here and there a day. They pay you like $400 a day, $500 a day. But nowadays, you can ask them about $700 a day, $800 a day. And if you're lucky enough, you get the full-time job. They pay you more with that and with the benefits and all. So it's right now at this moment, I think it's around like 90,000 a year. And starting if you work days by day, it's about $700 a day.
So would you say that there's a high demand for optometrists right now?
No, not really. There's a lot of optometrists nowadays because they open new school, new optometry school. Before, back to my days, they have only like 15 optometry school in the whole United States. But now they have more. They have like at least 20. So there's more students, there's more optometrists, and more competitive grades. I mean, but if you live in Florida, it's different. But if you live in California, it's different. If you live in Texas, it's different, demanding. So in California, there's a lot. Even down the street from my office, there's an optometrist. The other side, there's another optometrist. So they're everywhere. If you live in Florida, it's less. I mean, it might be one town, one doctor. You never know.
Yeah, it's a lot less crowded here in Florida, I would say, definitely.
Yeah.
So why did you decide to pursue this career?
That's questions every year. Once a while, I got asked. Okay. When I first graduated from high school, my goal is to go to healthcare field. So I went to the school for the bachelor degree. And after the bachelor, like 3rd year or so, if you decide to go healthcare field, then there's a pharmacy, there's a dentistry, there's optometry, and there's a medical doctor, MD. I think I'm more like, okay, I think I picked the easy job apart in all those healthcare fields because like I don't want too much responsibility like the medical doctors. And I don't want to look people teeth the whole day like the dentist. Okay. Pharmacy, I mean, there's a lot of memorizations for all the medications. So the optometrist, that's the only career that I think I will be more happy if I pick that one. So, I mean, the eyes is the window of the people's soul. So you pick the eye, you see everybody. So you talk to everybody, you know what they like. So that's why I picked optometry as my career.
And would you say that optometry is more or less flexible compared to other like healthcare careers, like a doctor?
What you mean? Like less competitive? What you mean by that?
Like more in terms of hours, because I've interviewed an anesthesiologist and they had to work 16-hour days at times. Whereas I see you as an optometrist, I see you being able to decide your own schedule. Would you say that's common across the field?
True. I mean, especially you have your own office. I mean, that's a plus because you can set your own schedule. Someday I work 4 hours, someday I work 6 hours. But if you work for some other people, you have you have to follow their schedule. Like medical doctors, even they had their own office, but they still had to do rounds in the hospital. They work more hours with that. And it's, I mean, that's what optometrists is. We work some, it's not really medical fields, but it's in healthcare field. So when you consider medical, it's more of the liabilities. So when you're in more liability, you have more responsibility. And when you more responsibility, you have to work hard to be to be in that person. So when you're optometrist, like it's very easy career. Actually, it's a very easy job to me because you work 8 hours a day. Some office they can work for 10 hours a day, but after 10 hours you go home. So you can do whatever you want. But the other medical doctors, even after hours, you still have to be on call. Well, if the patients call you at the midnight, you have to answer it for emergency. But optometrists, we don't have that the responsibility to do that. So after working hours, you go home with your family. So you have to worry about what the next day or what to deal with the patient problems.
This is kind of a jump in topic, but did you face any challenges on the path to your career?
Yes, of course. Every career or every job, the difficulty. For me, the first of all, because English is my second language, so I have to overcome my English first. And second one is once you graduate, you have to find jobs. But as optometry graduate student, it's very hard to find full-time job. So you have to work different office to get to know in the just like the what's it called the terminologies like networking. So you have to have your network in your field. So if you by yourself, you're not going to go nowhere. You have to be in your networking. So from working here and there, that's how you connect with people, and that's how you get the job. And if you that's the second thing. So I think it's the most difficulty for the optometrist to find a full-time job. Okay. And also the third one is I'm Asians. So Asians, I think it's hard to what's that called? To promote your okay, for example, I'm like if you like middle Caucasian men come in the office. So if they saw you petite Asian broken English, they're not going to trust you. You have to communicate with them well in order to build up the patient relationship. So that's the hardest thing for me because, as I say, I'm Asian, petite, and English, broken English. So that's the most difficulty I find.
And I was wondering, do you experience any difficulties in your field as a woman as well?
Any difficulty in what was the second part of your question?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
yeah. Do you experience any difficulties in your field as a woman?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes, because like if I'm a man, I mean, if I'm the guy or the man, I think it's easier to deal with the customer, with the patients, because for my professions, because I have my own office, I had to also examine patient eyes, but I also dispense the glasses to patients. Sometimes they take advantage of me being a woman because they can talk, like they over talk me, like they kind of pushing a little bit once you're the woman. No, and the other side of the question is no, because I think it's like in this modern world, I mean, lady first. So I think we okay. No way.
That's good to hear. Does someone in your profession experience traumatic events?
No, I don't think we have any traumatic events going on. Unless the patient threw the glasses to you.
Has that happened before?
Yeah. I mean, they for example, the patient had cataracts, right? Or some retinal problems. So they come into your office, you examine their eyes, you dispense the glasses to them. They say, this is what you're able to see, and you're unable to see 20/20, things like that. And then they took your glasses to the DMV, the motor vehicles, and then they check eyes. They're not passing. They come back to your office. They make a scene. They say, why you give me the glasses? I'm not even pass my driving test. So this happens.
Hmm. Do you have any tips for dealing with difficult patients like that?
The main thing is like you have to be patient. You have to be patient. So that's the only thing. Some of them slow, you have to be patient. Some of them got grumpy, you have to be patient. Some of them, they all kind of stuff. So mainly you have to, first thing in your mind, you have to be patient.
Thank you, Dr. Fan. I was also wondering, how does your profession impact people's lives?
So you have to see. I mean, when you see, you're happy. If you don't see, some patients like God not happy. I mean, first thing you do, what you do when you first wake up, you open your eyes, right? I mean, imagine you can see when you open your eyes. This will be a lot difficult for them. So same thing. I mean, I think eyesight is very important. Once you take care of your eyesight, you'll be more happier and your life will be more happier.
And this is kind of the opposite side of that, but what is the least satisfying part about your career?
The least satisfying is compares to the other healthcare professions. If you not have your own office, I think being a optometrist is we we got paid less than the other healthcare professions. Like when I first graduated for the first 5 years, I was so disappointed because all those years I spent in the school and how much I got paid after, I got so disappointed. But in return, I mean, after 7 years, you kind of like um, build up your networking, so you find more of the better job, better places to work at with. So that's I think so a lot of the optometry students when they first graduate, they might a little bit disappointing on their payrolls.
And I think that kind of leads me to my next question. What is something you wish everyone knew about your profession?
what what is something you wish everyone know about my professions? Um, even you got paid less, but it's a good rewarding because you have your own schedule. You can be your own boss, and you have less responsibility compared to other medical professions, healthcare professions.
And what is a common misconception about your profession?
When they think about the optometrist, they only think about the glasses. That's the most thing people think of, but they don't know that we're not just a glasses person, doctors. We can do a lot more things. We can treat the patient's eye like red eyes or what kind of, I mean, there's a lot of different kind of red eyes we can treat. And there's, you can like diagnose patients even with diabetes or hypertension or vascular disease. So you can do a lot more things than just the glasses or contact lenses.
And how has your profession changed in response to the pandemic?
Much not much. The patients still have glasses. They still need to check the eyes visions. But only difference with pandemics, like you have to wear masks the whole time. That's a little bit uncomfortable uh, when you working out like 8 hours with the mask on. Yeah, that's the only thing I think with the pandemic is affecting because compared to other professions, we still the business still run and the patients still the need for the glasses they're still very high demanding.
I was thinking since with optometry, there's a lot of equipment that patients touch, and you have to get up close and personal to the patient's face to examine their eye. Are there any extra precautions that you had to take?
Yes, of course. Like every day, I wear inside a 95 mask, outside regular mask, and then I have my glasses on, so everything blocked off. And equipment I have to like disinfecting after every patient. And I mean, yeah, you have basically it's just a little bit more on the more precautions. Like you have to extra step for it. But I mean, it's been pandemic, it's been 2, 3 years already, so we kind of get used to that. So when the mask every day now it's a thing for common, like it's the everyday things now.
And also about the pandemic, at the beginning, were people skeptical to come in? And did your business suffer a little bit because people didn't want to come in?
True, yes. So they are kind of delaying. I mean, if it's not urgent or they kind of delaying, put everything's on hold. So we like the first year with pandemic, we kind of very slow. But after the first year, we kind of pick up now and then the patients come back to like normal now.
That's good. What classes did you take in high school that helps you now in this career?
Think back to high school, I think every class is important, from social study to even basic algebra. It's important. I mean, physics, chemistry, everything's important. Even like history, you have to know a little bit about history to communicate with the patients because patients all kind of different people. So they talk to you. Sometimes they can tell you the whole story about their life and about what outside in the world, what in their door, in their house. So you have to know a little bit of everything. And so in order to communicate good relationship to the patients.
Thank you, Dr. Fan. And this is kind of a fun question. What kind of student were you in high school?
The truth is, I'm very serious and I'm kind of the nerdy side. So, I mean, in order to get good grades, you have to study. And I mean, but I mean, mostly I am the studious student. So that's I mean, you have to get a good grades to get in good school. That's the only thing.
Transitioning on to higher education, what college or university did you attend and what was the atmosphere like?
I went to the UC Riverside, University of California of Riverside. There, compared to other UC school, it is a smaller school. So it's very cozy environment. I mean, the teachers, they are so nice to us and everything. So if I want to, my kids go to UCR, I'm go for it. I say go for UC Riverside. So it's one of the best schools.
Continuing on in your education, what training was needed for your career beyond just UC Riverside?
Um, After the UC Riverside, I got bachelor degree. And then from that on, I went to they call New England College of Optometry in Boston for my doctor of optometry degree.
In total, about how many years of schooling was your upper education?
8 years. So after high school, 4 years called at the UCR for bachelor degree. And then after 4 years bachelor degree, you go another 4 years for optometry school.
And to this day, do you still have to continue education classes every year?
Yes. For each state it's different, but for California, so every 2 years we have to renew our license. And in order to renew the license, you have to take the continuing education for 50 hours. So you have to get the 50 hours done in order for them to renew your license for you.
And how did you pay for your education?
How? Okay. There's, as I say, I'm the good student in high school and also good student in college. So I got some financial aid and also scholarship. That's for the undergrad. But for the grad school, optometry school, most likely we have to get the loan from the government. They gave you the good interest and 30 years to pay when after you graduate. So from the loan from the government, I think we're doing good. And after you work a few years, you can pay off that. Depends on how much you're spending on when you're in college too. So it's not just the tuitions that you have to pay. It's your living expense, and then I can get when I was in school, I get the job too. So it's just like part-time job in the like book study in school. So you can earn a little bit money from them. So that's how I survive.
Thank you. And as the interview comes to an end, here's the last question. What is your best piece of advice for students interested in this career?
It's it's the reward to be an optometrist. I think it's not you don't get paid much or make a lot of money from the career from being an optometrist, but you have your own time. More flexible time, especially if you are a working woman, a working mother. So you have your own time. You can spend time with your kids too. Um, and also, it's I'm not being optometrist. I'm not like what's it called? I'm not regret that I'm chose this career because any job have the up and down side, but I think being optometrist there's more ups than down. And if you want to be optometrist, go for it. It's a lot comparative out there. You just do your best and you will be succeed.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fan, for joining us today.
No problem, Crystal.
I tell you, I love doing these career chats, especially when guest speakers give real talk to students.
Oh,
And this is fantastic. And one thing I can tell you is, average teacher salaries in the state of Florida are about $55,000 a year. So optometry coming in at $90,000, I think that sounds pretty darn good to me. And I think it was.
But the living expense in California is different.
That's true. That's true. My goodness. And that brings up an excellent point that, starting when you start out, as Dr. Fan mentioned, you can't graduate college and then say, look out world, here I come. Let me make the most money I possibly can. You have to pay your dues. You have to work your way up, and then your salary goes up, and different salaries in different states, different cities. So thank you for sharing all of your experiences and telling the students the way it is out there with the world and giving them some good options to think about. We sure do appreciate you taking your time. And I want to share this with the students again.
Per year. Indeed reported the average optometrist makes
If you have any questions about our programming, that you can feel free to contact us. You can see our programs again on the screen, and down at the bottom is our website, followed by our phone number and my email address if you have any questions about any of these programs. And Dr. Fan, thank you. I can't thank you enough for giving your time. Crystal, you are a wonderful interviewer. Thank you
Yes.
both so very much. I sure do appreciate it.
All right, no problem.